Hello there, this is Miglina and I help people quit smoking once and for all without willpower or anxiety. And today we're going to talk about pressure and how it can benefit you when you want to quit smoking. But before we do, please put away your worries, let them play, they'll be back later, let them go. Take a deep breath and with intention, exhale everything that is in your mind, in your head right now that you don't need. Just breathe it out. A long out breath. Breathe. Okay, now we can focus on the video and get the most value from it. So if you are pressuring yourself, if you say, I need to stop, I need to quit, people got sick, people died from smoking, everybody's telling you to stop, and that doesn't make things better. You build up this huge pressure, huge. And now, how do you feel? How do you feel with this pressure? That's the first thing. Pressure, what I have experienced, is good sometimes when it's acute. When you take an exam, or if you need to learn and study, that could be good. Or if you're under time pressure and you get going, pressure is good sometimes. When it comes to smoking, I'm not so sure about, because think about pressure like a pipe, a water pipe. So you have water run through that pipe. Water is your life, okay? And as you go through life, you have experiences, you make conclusions, you develop emotions, and you have feelings, and all of this is sometimes loaded with some little particles or bigger particles, because sometimes the water carries, you make decisions. You make good decisions and you make bad decisions. When you make good decisions, the water flows. When you make bad decisions, there are little, dirt bits and pieces that come with the water, because, it's not clear, it's not clean when you make the bad decisions. And one bad decision sometimes leads into another, and to another, and to another, just as good decisions lead to another, to another, to another. So when you have a lot of dirt build up, because usually smoking is a problem, and that's why you want to quit, and that's why you are so desperate to have this gone. But if you imagine this water pipe and those little bits and pieces that have really clogged up your pipe, and now you're trying to get at that pipe, push through with pressure, because you need to, all those conclusions you've made, that led you to smoking, because you have learned how to deal with stress, how to deal with your emotions in different situations, and this is how you have managed to go through those situations with smoking. Now it's a problem because it affects your health and other things in your life, and money and everything. So you have this pressure, and life and water is not running through smoothly anymore. You go at it with something, you apply pressure, you try and push through. And this is you're talking. I have to, other people tell you, you need to, you have to, and look at it, and why can't you? And it is so utterly frustrating. So you just take some tool and try and push through. Sometimes it can just go through, and it's clear and it's good again. Sometimes all that pressure gets the pipe to burst, which is a disaster. And when you think about smoking, it just keeps you desperate and hopeless. When you try and push and I can't, and you shame yourself and blame yourself and say, oh, I'm just too weak and everything, it discourages you. It doesn't really help you, and that's a disaster, because then you are giving up, and that's not helping you. then again, you might push through a bit and it gets better, but you just kind of, push and push more. It gets deeper and deeper, but it doesn't really clean it, the pipe. So pressure, sometimes yes and sometimes no. With smoking, I'm not sure. It's not up to me to say yes or no, but how about you think, wouldn't it be good if you could, instead of applying pressure, taking out the dirt, getting your pipe run smoothly again, you maybe take whichever tool you like, take tweezers, take big tweezers, and go deep, and to take out the bits that are actually clogging up your pipe. You look at them, you see, what is it actually that I think, that I feel, that is there? What is there? Why is this blocking my flow, so to speak? How do I feel about this piece of dirt? What is it? How did it get there? Just think about it. Why is it there? So you take out the bits and pieces, and little by little, you have to go deep to dig and to get them out, and it's not always pretty, and it's smelly, and you don't like to do it. It's disgusting, and you just don't want to look at things sometimes, but it is important, because once you take out the little pieces, water starts running through, and you have taken out the pieces, looked at what actually caused the clogging up. You have looked at, you have considered as well yourself. You've really taken the time, not just with pressure and and voices from other people who have just watched you push through. They have cheered you on. Yes, you can do it. And you have, you're sweating, and you're a lot of anxiety, and you have muscle ache from pushing through. And those people say, well done, you've pushed through, but what does it leave you with? If you want to push through and you have made it, then it's gone, but maybe it can come back. How do you know it doesn't come back? Or sometimes you think, okay, it's done now, but oh God, what if it comes back? So by taking out those pieces, looking at them and trying to prevent your pipe from clogging up again, in my opinion, it is considering yourself more and giving you the power back to yourself, instead of just being powerless. Because if you look at the things and you see what has it actually, how did it come to that? So you can avoid in the future to be at the same stage, and when you have managed to look at the pieces and quit smoking, hey, I know what's the cause, so I don't need to smoke again, because I know myself. I have considered myself. I have really looked into it, because all those people who have cheered you on, or sometimes, people say you have to change your beliefs. Yes, you have to reprogram your mind. Give it a different program. Okay, sometimes as well, things that people tell you are not the things that you need to hear, because people can only look from the outside, but this is your stuff. Nobody knows you better than yourself. And if you think you don't know yourself, then you have to go inside. I'm not saying you have to, because you don't have to do anything. That's putting pressure on you again. You don't have to. It's wise if you go inside, if you consider yourself. Reprogramming your mind, in my opinion, is not considering yourself. How do you feel? What do you want? What are your experiences Nobody has gone through the things that you have gone through. Nobody feels the same that you feel about things. So nobody knows who you are better than you know yourself, if you consider yourself. Plus, it works. Reprogramming your mind works for some people, but it still leaves you powerless because you are, like for example, the pipe, instead of going on the top, at it from the top, you go at it from different angles, which can sometimes really help. But still, you haven't taken out the little bits and pieces, which is so vital, in my opinion, to avoid the same happening again. And this is what you want initially, to avoid and not be in that situation, in that desperate situation. And when you're trying to reprogram your mind, or it sometimes helps to speak, to get a different perspective to somebody, to speak to somebody else, to get a different perspective, they can, make you think, and it comes from a good place. And even the reprogramming advice comes from a good place. Amazing. And as I said, a conversation can already help so much to kind of reconsider and open perspectives, which is all good. But how do you feel about it? You still feel, if this is going to happen again, and you feel anxious and you're worried, and this puts more pressure on you, and it's always in the back of your head. So just as your problems, that we just let them play, let go of the pressure. Take your own nature. What do you like? How do you feel? How do you get on? What is important to you? Where are your values? Take into consideration. Be you. Consider yourself. Listen to yourself. That, in my opinion, is a more sustainable, a more long-term approach, because you learn when you look at the different pieces of dirt that you have accumulated, that let your pipe clog up. You learn, because who else can teach you anything? Nobody who tells you you have to do this or you have to do that can teach you anything. And there's a resistance as well. So we don't like, as children, to be told anything. So as soon as you're being told, and as soon as you tell yourself, you're putting up immediately a wall of resistance, and that puts the pressure, and that is so difficult. In my opinion, if we don't learn, there's no point making the effort, because we evolve and we want to learn and we want to evolve. And this is kind of, it's developing ourselves. So that's why quitting smoking is not just pushing through willpower and, oh yeah, good job, you have done it, patting on the shoulder, because this is from other people. This is not what did you learn? What did you learn? I'm asking you, what did you learn? If not looking at your own little bits and pieces that have led you to the place where you are now. So instead of putting pressure on yourself, first of all, let go of the pressure. It's not urgent. Like, yes, of course, if you can, stop right now, but take the cigarette if you feel the urge, okay? Before you quit smoking, before you decide to quit smoking, take that cigarette. And usually I would say, before you take the cigarette, think about it. Why do you need it? What's going on? But if you haven't started yet, take that cigarette so the pressure is gone, okay? That one cigarette, yes, each cigarette counts, but there is no immediate urgency. You know what I mean, in a way, because that puts pressure on you again. Like, I have to do it now. I can't, I have to. This is like a lot of pressure. So if you need to, if it does help you to take off the pressure, but don't go to, okay, I need to smoke now because that means I can take the pressure, right? I don't mean that, but if you have so much pressure and before you finally say, okay, I'm going to do something about it, take that cigarette and then think about what was it actually that led me to smoking, and what do I need? How can I consider myself so I can finally quit smoking? So only in this case, if you're on your way to quit smoking, take the pressure off. Take it off. And if you are in the process of already quitting and you're having a really difficult time, take that pressure off again, not by smoking, but by saying, okay, there's no pressure, there's nothing I need to do, there's nothing I don't have to, I don't need to. The only thing that would be beneficial for me is to consider myself and ask yourself, what do I love? What do I need? What do I like? What is my nature? Just really without any voices that mean so well, without anything. This is you and yourself alone. Nobody can do this for you. And with pressure, it's difficult. So consider, what do I love? What are my values? And then you go on and takes off the pressure. Just consider you and nobody else. You, what do you need? What do you love? And I hope that will really take the pressure off you, and I'm sure it will. So I hope that video helped, and I see you next time. Bye.